Common trademark beliefs that can hurt your business. So this is the first one, and that is, I want my trademark to be synonymous with my unique product, so it just becomes a household word everyone uses to describe the product, like Band-Aid or Kleenex. I hear this a lot from people, and I understand it feels like that would be a good thing. Obviously, you want to promote your brand, you want to get more sales, national recognition, etc. That's all wonderful. Trademarks are great for that. But there's a point at which, if you're not careful, you actually can lose your trademark rights by becoming too famous. So let me explain a little bit how that works. So the value of the trademark is in allowing your customers to recognize that your product comes from your company and it's not from your competitors. That's the value of the trademark. If you imagine a scenario where all of your competitors can use that word to describe their products, your unique trademark, like let's say Band-Aid or Kleenex, if you think about that, I think you'll understand why that is not a good thing. We don't want our competitors to be able to use our trademark to describe their product. That's the whole point, right? That's why we are treating them as trademarks. That's why we're registering. So it's important to understand that if your product, your trademark becomes the household name for that thing, for your actual product, like adhesive bandages or your tissues, then what that means is that your trademark rights will disappear. And your trademark will just enter the language. It'll be in the dictionary with a lowercase letter. And, you can say, hey, that's cool, I made that up. But guess what? You don't get paid just because everyone's using a word you made up. Trademarks don't work that way. You do not get paid. There's no money that comes from saying someone's trademark on TV. I think this is a common belief coming from the way people understand copyrights. Trademarks are totally different. You don't get paid when your trademark that you made up becomes a household name. Worse, when it becomes a household word for that product, all of your competitors have a right to use that word because they have a right to use English words or whatever their language is. They have a right to use words that mean the product, that describe the product. So Band-Aid and Kleenex, they're fighting very hard to make sure that people understand they are brand names. They are not the name of that's not a synonym for adhesive bandage or facial tissue. They're brand names. So number one piece of advice here is always use a noun after your trademark. Make sure that you have like Band-Aid, adhesive bandages, Kleenex, tissues. That way it is much more clear that your trademark is a trademark. And by the way, use the TM if you are not registered yet, and use the R if you are registered. So it'd be Band-Aid, R, adhesive bandages, Kleenex, R, R in a circle, tissues. That will help a lot in preventing genericide, because if you are so successful that everyone just thinks when they hear your trademark, that's just the name of the thing that you sell, no matter where you get it from, at that point you are losing or have lost your trademark rights. Real important, even if they're registered, by the way. It's the only way to prevent that from happening is to be really conscious of how you are using it. Make sure you use that noun afterwards if you possibly can. And then if you see it starting to creep in as becoming the name of the thing, take action. Educate your audience. Go after the people that are using it incorrectly and make them fix it. Because aspirin used to be a trademark. And escalator used to be a trademark. The language is full of words that used to be trademarks but were lost and now are just words. So don't lose one of your most important assets that you invest in. Please treat your trademarks like trademarks and recognize you do not want them to become the word for the thing that you sell. Hope that was helpful. Catherine Cavella, IP Works Law.